Why does Carrick always pop up the collar of his coat? Is he trying to imitate Eric Cantona? That was the light-hearted question posed by a Guardian journalist during the early hours coverage of this fixture. Either way, Manchester United needed exactly that kind of swagger and defiance if they were to claim 3 points away from home. They had failed to do so in their previous outing. A 1-1 draw at the Cauldron of West Ham meant they could not win the so-called haircut final, ending their winning streak and leaving the deity of hairstyles still looking untamed. No matter, the familiar image of Carrick returned, and his side appeared ready to embark on a new run. Though, of course, serious obstacles still lay ahead. From the moment the referee's whistle pierced the cold Merseyside air, the temperature of the contest rose instantly. Inside the opening minute, the ball was recycled deep. Goalkeeper Lamans swung through a clearance. In a split second, Beto charged in like a runaway tank, crashing straight into the United keeper. The ball ricocheted, skimmed past the upright and drifted wide. An unmistakably hostile greeting. The hosts made no attempt to disguise their intention. Physical force would be their weapon to crush the visitors' confidence. What followed was a sequence of ferocious duels. In the 4th minute, Bruno Fernandes slid the ball wide to Brian Mbeumo on the left. The cross was whipped in. Diogo Dalot timed his run perfectly but could not steer his side-footed effort on target. Matheus Cunha reacted quickest with a follow-up strike, which cannoned off Ahmed. Ahmed spun and volleyed. Jordan Pickford flung himself to parry before James Tarkowski hacked clear on the goal line. Chaos, raw and untamed. Everton's mid-block press in the first half caused significant disruption to United's build-up. The home side compacted the central corridors, suffocating the intricate short combinations attempted by United's midfield. The evidence came in the 17th minute when Tim Iroegbunam and Iliman Ndiaye comfortably dispossessed United as they tried to construct play through tight channels. It was a period where Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo repeatedly fell out of rhythm. A loose pass from Casemiro in the 43rd minute nearly invited a dangerous counter-attack. Everton also succeeded in forcing United's wide forwards, Ahmed and Mbeumo, to retreat deep into their own half, receiving possession with their backs to goal, nullifying any opportunity to accelerate into threatening spaces. Frustration was etched across Bruno Fernandes' face. The Portuguese midfielder dropped as deep as the defensive third in search of the ball. Each touch met a wall of blue shirts, arms flung skyward, familiar complaints muttered under his breath. In the 50th minute, Bruno again withdrew to ignite an attack with a diagonal switch to the right. Mainoo delivered a cross. Tarkowski headed partially clear. Mbeumo lashed at the rebound but failed to make a meaningful imprint. United's stubborn and predictable circulation allowed Everton's defensive individuals to shine. Jared Branthwaite turned the inside left channel into a no-fly zone. On 30 minutes, Ahmed twisted past Branthwaite with sharp acceleration. The defender responded with a cynical tug, accepting a tactical foul on the edge of the box to extinguish the threat. Everton's defensive structure functioned on one guiding principle: disrupt the rhythm. In the 39th minute, James Garner stepped up for a free kick. The ball swerved wickedly, but Lamans read the trajectory superbly and gathered cleanly. Everton sustained pressure through calculated bursts. In the 46th minute, Ndiaye spun Casemiro effortlessly near the touchline and drove into the area. His cutback found Jack Harrison, who squared for Armstrong. The chance opened invitingly, yet Armstrong's side-footed finish went straight at Lamans. The stalemate left Michael Carrick rooted to the technical area, deep in thought inside his long overcoat. His team lacked pace and penetration to pin back Everton's centre-halves. In the 58th minute, the board illuminated. Benjamin Šeško entered for Ahmed. A distinctly physical presence was introduced, and the rhythm shifted immediately. Mbeumo returned to his natural flank, vacating central territory for Šeško. Everton began to feel the structural strain. Their defensive line retreated half a step, wary of runs in behind. Šeško's introduction caused visible discomfort. First, his imposing frame and relentless physicality forced Tarkowski and Branthwaite to remain anchored inside their own penalty area. Second, the presence of a true target man created expansive wide spaces for Mbeumo, leading to a clear opportunity in the 72nd minute. Third, Matheus Cunha's progressive ball carrying surged as he finally had a reference point ahead of him. exemplified by a piercing vertical pass that tore through Everton's defensive shape. United's vertical axis began to connect with greater clarity. There was a sense a goal hovered in the Merseyside air. Then, in the 72nd minute, the equation was solved with surgical precision. Everton won a corner. The delivery was headed clear by Maguire. The loose ball dropped into the left channel of United's half. Cunha reacted first to regain possession. The Brazilian lifted his head, scanning in a fraction of a second. Ankle locked, he struck a diagonal pass that bypassed Everton's midfield and found Mbeumo in stride on the right. 25 yards from goal, Mbeumo assessed his options and threaded a perfectly weighted through ball between two blue shirts. Šeško surged forward, the power of a basketball athlete fused with the grace of a figure skater. No second touch required, he struck first time. Low into the bottom right corner. Pickford dived in vain, the net rippled, the stands fell silent. It bore the hallmarks of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's finest years: compact defense, lightning transition, ruthless execution. Šeško had now scored 3 goals in his last 4 matches for United, each coming from the bench. Momentum flipped instantly. Everton responded by raising their press. In the 74th minute, Harrison drove aggressively inside. Casemiro lunged and was beaten. In the 77th minute, Lamens again stood firm. Garner's corner caused mayhem in the 6-yard area. Beto's presence intensified the chaos. Pickford, from distance, shouted furiously and was shown a yellow card. Pressure suffocated the United box. Lamens' command of his penalty area proved vital. His earlier save from Garner's free kick, his decisive punch under heavy aerial traffic, these interventions radiated calm. That composure filtered upward. Cunha exemplified it in the 71st minute with a sliding block on Garner at the edge of the area. A team that survives the storm requires a goalkeeper who does not tremble. Cunha himself was outstanding. In the 61st minute, weary of the tempo, he collected deep, drove centrally and unleashed a shot narrowly wide. 10 minutes later, he sprinted back like a fullback to block from distance. When attackers roll up their sleeves defensively, collective survival instinct is at its most visible. Casemiro, despite positional lapses, still delivered raking passes behind Everton's line. Added time was signalled. Everton pumped the ball forward. White shirts rose to clear. The final whistle echoed. 1-0. On social media, an account named Stretford posted a comment that earned thousands of endorsements. The first half was so dull I nearly turned off the telly. But that Šeško move was worth every penny of electricity. We don't need to dominate for 90 minutes. We just need ruthlessness for 10 seconds. That remark captured the essence of pragmatic football. Against a compact opponent, possession does not equate to chances. Control of midfield can become a self-deceptive trap. United walked into that trap for 45 minutes. They collided with the Tarkowski-Branthwaite wall. They surrendered possession to Gay and Ndiaye. Matches are decided by moments, and moments are forged by tactical decisions. Ahmed's withdrawal was not an indictment of his performance. On the contrary, he led the forward line in defensive recoveries. But Carrick recognized that to fracture a dense defensive block, muscle was required. Šeško provided that muscular torment. He distorted Everton's shape, commanded attention, and triggered a chain reaction. Mbeumo sensed the vacancy. Cunha sketched the perfect arc. A defensive structure painstakingly constructed by Everton collapsed in seconds. The wind from the River Mersey remained bitter. On the touchline, Carrick slipped his hands into the pockets of his long coat. Collar raised high, concealing part of his jawline. No exuberant grin, no theatrical celebration. The expression of a professional who had executed the assignment. Manchester United departed Goodison Park with maximum points, leaving behind the frustrated growls of Merseyside. Minimal scoreline, maximum emotion. A contest that exposed both brute force and tactical intelligence. United passed a test of endurance, proving they can wade through mud before unsheathing the blade with chilling precision.